right. This is part two of what I promised you before during part one of that question. Who is the center of your universe? I want to get to part two on that discussion, but as a quick review, I want to ask that question about who is the center of your universe. I didn't mean that as a trick question at all. And in that part one, I offered to reword that question to this: who is the center of your life and of what you love? I want you to consider that question, not because, a brief, 8 to 10 minute discussion with me on resilience and about this question about who and what is the center of your universe. I wanted you to consider also the next level of question that I want you to take the time to self-discover what that means to you. Not only the question about who and what is the center of your life and what you love, who and what is at the center of you. And it's tied into that thing I've mentioned before about beauty and drive and discipline and desire. I want you to understand that, or take another look at that question about what drives you. So I want you to know not only what is at the center of your universe. They may say, I don't own a daggone universe. I'm asking you, what should that be? If there could be an answer, and I'm not prone to give you answers to anything, but the starting point of that question, the starting approach to addressing that question should come down to one simple statement. The center of your universe, or of what you love, should be you. And I said before, I'm not trying to give you an arrogant, dismissive me versus the world perspective. No. I'm just asking you to consider committing fully to you as a center of your universe, of your life, of your job, of your relationships, of whatever you do. And it really teases out more layers of that question about what drives you. I really want you to consider answering for yourself that question, or at least being open to what that kind of question you present to yourself opens up to your senses, and definitely to your heart, about what that question reveals for you to you. You're almost there when you start with that baby step about that introspection. Not about what drives you, but also if you have a first step or indication of what that could possibly mean. I still want to know then, or ask you to ask yourself, who and what is at the center, the core, the almost like absolute essence of you. What is there? Because there, I'm saying, will offer you that view, that perspective, that understanding, at least that appreciation of what that engine is, what that energy is, what that thing is that makes you do what you do. That is also tied into what brought you here. So I'm asking you to ask that question of yourself each day, or a different way, to make sure that you're getting guidance. You're getting, not correction, guidance on where you're going and what you're brought here to do. So what I said in part one of that question, who is the center of your universe, I want to share with you something from Mr. Ryan Holiday, the man who puts out those daily Stoic missives and impressions and recitations or interviews in his journey about sharing the Stoic philosophy. So let me give this to you today before I forget. This is a quote from Mr. Ryan Holiday. Quote, "It is correct to say that we naturally care about ourselves and our own interests first. In fact, the Stoics believed we were born that way, fighting in our earliest days solely for our own survival. But, and this is the important part, they did not believe we should stay that way. One of the most influential Stoic ethical thinkers was a man named Heracles. And Heracles ordered the universe in a series of concentric circles. In the middle, he said, was us, the individual. Surrounding each individual was family, friends, fellow citizens, members of an empire, and then humanity as a whole. Beyond those circles, there were more, including people not yet born, animals, and so on. This was the natural, primal order he conceded, but Stoicism is, and never has been, a philosophy of just giving in to our baser assumptions and feelings. Neither, it should be said is Christianity. The work of philosophy, Heracles argued, was to pull these outer rings towards us. That was radical, even a little crazy. He again conceded, but it was a beautiful madness, he believed. The person who sacrifices himself to save a drowning stranger. The person who voluntarily saves and sends some of his money to help people in a foreign land. A figure like Regulus, who trades his own freedom to preserve the principle of diplomatic trust so that Rome's word would be valued in the future. A society that makes room for refugees or gives a criminal a second chance. All these things shake up the ordo amoris, as the Stoics used to say, as Christ himself modeled. It's crazy, to be sure. It's not always in our best short-term interest, but it's beautiful. It's complicated and can be hard to strike the right balance, but we have to try. We have to push ourselves outside of our comfort. We have to give and give and give because it's right. It's the embodiment of justice, unquote. I think that was a great statement about that analogy or that visual, about what I said earlier in part one, you as the center, not in an arrogance or statement of vanity, but as Guy explained to us from Heracles, you in the center and those concentric expanding circles around you, but not just a statement about position and how important you are, about then that another part of that perspective, the intention is to bring all those concentric circles closer to us. You may have heard something like that in that episode a few days ago. I called it margin calls. That's what I'm talking about. Although even this perspective, you being a center of your universe, you're not isolated. The other part of your being here is to endeavor to share and bring those margins, the concentric circles in towards you. The attractiveness of your humility, of your courage, of your confidence. That's what I'm trying to get to. That is the center of the universe. Please enjoy it and please share that. Stay present. Stay current. No matter where you are in this world, please remember and share. Hey, it's 8:20.